If you can't tell, I am a very amateur YouTuber. So, all right, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Hello, and welcome to PoliticOly, episode 11. Today is Sunday, May 31st. This is Olympia, Washington. My name's Stuart. Thanks for joining us. I am an amateur political and leftist politics talk show, essentially, and I'm just trying to help signal boost folks in the movement around Washington State, here in Thurston County and Olympia, and everywhere. So welcome to PoliticOly. I'm just going to give a few quick news updates, and then I'm going to go ahead and get into today's main topic, which is George Floyd, Black Lives Matter, and the uprising or rebellion or revolution or whatever you want to call it that is going on right now. So the episode is mostly going to be about that, but again, just a few quick news blurbs first. Just to really quick say I appreciate all of you tuning in. If you are tuning in on Facebook, please go to YouTube and look up PoliticOly and subscribe on there. The best way to catch me live is to sign up for YouTube notifications, and then you get a little ding when I go live so you can tune in. I really want this to be a live discussion show. I want to hear from you. So if you have a comment or question, please post it in the chat, and I will get back to you as I can as we go along. If you would like to send in a video or audio comment or question, please email politicoly@gmail.com, and I can get that on the show as well. Just a quick note, technical note, let me know in the chat if the mic volume is good, if I am loud enough. I was a little bit too quiet last time, and so hopefully the mic is good and volume is good. Let me know in the chat, I'd appreciate it. Okay, moving on. So Thurston County coronavirus update. And I was going to have more links and read some more stuff and, talk through more of these details. But I think at this point, I'm just going to go over this real briefly and move on. So here in Thurston County, we've moved into phase 2. That means that public gatherings of 5 or less people are allowed. It means that certain things can open up a little bit more than they were before. We're still doing all the distancing. Masks are now required in Thurston County if you are inside any public establishment, or if you are in a public area where you may not be able to maintain 6 feet of space or more. And I would personally just say, masks all the time outside are a good idea at this point. And then the update on that, just from yesterday, is that there has been a number of new cases announced in Thurston County since we moved into phase 2. And a lot of those cases have been at a nursing home facility. So again, I was going to go into more detail about this, but it went a little bit further down my priority list. So I'm just gonna mention that. But what I would do is I would look up Thurston County coronavirus update, and you're looking for Dr. Yu, and they post regular updates. So I'll leave that to you to go check that out. But the bottom line on coronavirus update is mask up, and we are now in phase 2. But don't take that for granted. We've had new cases, and it's possible we may have to go back into phase 1. I don't know if that's going to happen at this point. Right now, it seems like we're going to just move ahead with phase 2. But be careful and just be safe, everyone. So I also want to just really quickly mention that masks have been hard to come by, and so folks have been making their own, which is awesome. But their grocery outlet actually has masks right now, 10 for $10 packs. So if you'd like to get some masks, check out grocery outlet. My mic is low. All right, that's the feedback I was looking for. Thank you, circa before. I appreciate that feedback. I think I'm just going to hold the mic because I'm not exactly sure how to turn the volume up on it any louder. So let me know if that's a little better. and we'll go from there. Like I said, a very amateur YouTuber here, so I'm just kind of learning as I go. The mic is new, and I'm learning all this stuff. So love when I hear feedback from folks. If my mic is too low, anything else kind of technical is going on, please let me know, and it helps me improve the show. So thank you for that feedback, and thanks for tuning in. Another brief news bit that I would like to mention is that fruit pickers in Washington are on strike. They have not been adequately protected or educated or supplied with regard to coronavirus, and they are essentially being exploited for their necessary labor. And so it's really important to support farm workers. For more information on that, what I would do is look up Familias Unidas por la Justicia on Facebook. And that is one local organization, besides others that I've told you about in past episodes, La Resistencia, and so on. But also Latino Civic Action. And I'll post the link to Familias Unidas por la Justicia in the description when I repost the video later. So check that out for updates and support the farm workers of Washington State. So with that said, I was going to talk more about local news stuff, but obviously the situation is dynamic right now in this country, here and everywhere. And so what I really want to talk about this week is Black Lives Matter, George Floyd, law enforcement in the United States, and justice, and our search for justice. So you can see behind me, I started making a new protest sign. I can't breathe, Black Lives Matter. Painted that with acrylics. And I think everyone is making signs right now, and all kinds of the photo gallery. Yeah, no, for sure. So I'm going to move into some video here instead of the slideshow soon. So again, I'm just very amateur. So I was going to have this more set up with all these videos and photos and stuff set up ahead of time, but you know, I'm just doing this in my spare time, and I don't have that all set up. So that's why the slideshow is there. It's kind of a placeholder, but we're going to get into some video and some photos here in just a moment, so bear with me. Again, the situation is real dynamic, and people are making, you know, I was going to say, post what you are putting on your signs. I would love to see photos of your protest signs. If you have photos or video of Black Lives Matter related events or gatherings or anything that you have taken, you can send them to PoliticOly@gmail.com and get them on the show in the future. So I'd love to, you know, right now I'm basically the main contributor for the show, but I'd love to show media from others as well. And I'd love to see examples of the signs that you're making and what you are doing to speak up for Black Lives Matter and to speak up for justice. All right. So let's see. You know what? I want to start with something. I want to start because a lot of folks, they see the property destruction and they see things going on, and they say, why don't you protest nonviolently? Why don't you protest peacefully? It's more effective. So my response to that, I'm just going to read a quote here. You might recognize it. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop, and I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over, and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know that tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. And you may recognize that as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. That was a speech that he gave one day before he was executed by law enforcement for what he was saying and doing in this country. So when you say, no, don't riot, be peaceful, like Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was killed. He was murdered. He was assassinated by law enforcement. So think about that before you invoke his name, to say that people should be peaceful and patient and calm. I just wanted to say that. All right, so let me get this resized. Hello, back to you, Adventures of Odin. Hi, thanks for tuning in. And hi to everyone else, and thanks for tuning in. We're talking about Black Lives Matter today. And apologies for the videos here. I did not get this set up ahead of time like I wanted to. So you're just going to have to bear with me a second while I muddle through the live streaming and all these videos and stuff. And hopefully everything works and I can show you. Because what I wanted to do is do an update from Olympia, Washington last night, May 30th. There was a call for a candlelight vigil in honor of George Floyd. And this was called for at the Olympia City Hall / police station. And so I wanted to go out there and see what was going on in the community in terms of showing up for justice. And that was a really good event. Shout out to the organizers. Thank you for calling out for that. Yesterday there was a right-wing rally at the Capitol, and so folks really wanted to do Black Lives Matter stuff at the Capitol, but instead we didn't want to tussle with the Trump folks. So it was moved to later in the evening in front of City Hall and the police station, which I think is appropriate anyway. And again, as you'll see, we did end up at the Capitol anyway. So props to the organizers. They plugged everybody wearing masks and being responsible and safe with our public demonstration. And so that's a big difference, because the Trump folks, you know, they don't believe in science. They don't want to wear masks. They don't care if they hurt other people or get them sick or anything like that. And that's what you see at these right-wing rallies. But at the left-wing rally, at the Black Lives Matter rally, everyone was masked up, and folks did a really good job with social distancing. So anyway, just shout out to the organizers. They did a great job. I want to just do a really quick disclaimer about showing media from protests on this channel. I want to share the message of protesters and boost their efforts, so I'll video record protests. However, I'm aware that the media can be used by police against protesters to track people or as evidence, facial recognition databases, and all this kind of thing. And so I'm aware that there are privacy concerns with regard to that. So if you see yourself in any video that I put out and you don't want to be in it, or you want your face blurred or anything like that, let me know. I do not want to show any incriminating evidence. I'm never going to show a video of property damage or something like that. I don't think that's right, and people shouldn't share that in terms of privacy concerns. So if I ever show a video or a photo or anything that seems not fully ethical in some way, or you have some kind of concern, please let me know, because I do want to be a bit of a journalist here. but I don't want to put anybody's safety at risk. So anyway, just with that, I'm going to take a second to get this video loaded up. Again, I am a deal, but hang on one moment. Circa before comments, exactly. I'm always careful about that too. Facial recognition is definitely being used, and today Trump flagged Antifa as a terrorist organization, even though they're not an organization. Yeah, and not terrorist either, obviously, you know. But, fascists don't like anti-fascists. More at 11, right? I mean, come on. Give me a break. So, but yes, we do need to be careful with what we share. Okay. Hey everyone, this is Stuart. I'm down here in downtown Olympia, headed toward City Hall / police station of City of Olympia for a Black Lives Matter protest, candlelight vigil rally in honor, in memory of George Floyd, killed by the Massachusetts, slip of the tongue there, Minnesota Police Department, and all other victims of police brutality and white supremacy. So, just wanted to do a little hello here, and then I will get some footage when I'm down there and it gets started, and give you all a look at how the Olympia community is responding to the latest series of police brutality and murders by police with impunity that we see all across this country. Solidarity with all other locations around America and around the world. I've seen that all around the world there are gatherings out front of U.S. embassies in support of the black people of America who are being targeted and killed. So thank you to everyone around the world for showing solidarity, and to everyone in all other locations. All right, let's check it out. All right, so again, that was just kind of my... Oh, there, Mike. All right, so again, that was just kind of my intro. And like I said, I had all these videos of folks' amazing speeches from last night, but for some reason, my videos are just not playing on OBS Studio right now, which is the software that I'm using. So I'm going to have to come back to you next week with more videos live on the scene. So apologies for that. Now, let's see. This is my Facebook Live video from yesterday. I just went on live for the segment when we were marching. We marched from the Olympia City Hall / Police Department up to the Washington State Capitol building, Legislative Building steps. So yeah, tune in and let's just watch this march. Black Lives Matter, Justice for George Floyd, last night, May 30th, Olympia, Washington. So, okay, here we go. All right, here we go. We're live in downtown Olympia with PoliticOly. This is a Black Lives Matter march. Here we go. This is just after we left City Hall. Prosecute the police! Prosecute the police! Prosecute the police! All right, hey everyone, we're live in Olympia, Washington at the Black Lives Matter rally downtown. We had a rally at the City Hall police station. Now we're headed down to the Olympia Capitol campus, Washington State Capitol campus. There's probably 200 or 300 people here. Thanks for tuning in. Love you all. Black Lives Matter. Justice for George Floyd. Sorry if I'm in late. Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you're just tuning in, this is downtown Olympia, Washington. Black Lives Matter, Justice for George Floyd, marching to the Washington State Capitol. No justice, no peace.
No justice! No peace! No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace! Prosecute the police! No justice, no peace! Prosecute the police! No justice, no peace! Prosecute the police! just want to give a shout out. I've been hearing a lot of Black Trans Lives Matter chants. I love that. Thank you to whoever's doing that. Hey everyone, if you're tuning in live in downtown Olympia, Black Lives Matter rally, Justice for George Floyd, marching to the Washington State Capitol. Thanks for tuning in. It's probably something like 200 to 400 people here. Just recording live right now. I'll go on PoliticOly tomorrow to talk more about this. I have a live stream show on YouTube on Sundays, 1 to 2 p.m. called PoliticOly, like PoliticOly, but with OLY for Olympia. So check it out. I'll be on there tomorrow with more footage. For now, thanks for tuning in. Black Lives Matter.
Don't shoot! Hands up, don't shoot! Hands up, don't shoot! Hands up, don't shoot! Hands up, don't shoot! Justice! Now! Justice! Now! Justice! Now!
There's going to be Black Lives Matter demonstration at the West Side Capitol Mall Monday at noon. Check it out in the parking lot. There are other events coming up surrounding Black Lives Matter and so on. I'll post links in the description. I'm live right now, but I'll post this later on PoliticOly on YouTube. I'll put links to those upcoming events in the description. Oh, look. Traffic. Didn't seem to realize there was a march coming. Hopefully they're patient. But they're still rolling. These people are still rolling while people are walking by. So I'm going to stop them. It's not okay. It's not okay to just drive through when there's protesters walking by. If you happen to get caught up in a protest, then what you want to do is just stop, be patient, wait for it to pass, just to be safe. All right, there's still some people behind. We're getting clear. Hopefully they stay safe. All right. When you're at a march, you always want to watch out for potential vehicular assault perpetrators. People don't necessarily always do it on purpose. They get scared and confused. And so it's important to watch out for that. All right, back to the march.
You should stop and wait for people to pass. Stop and wait. All right, we're with the Black Lives Matter Justice for George Floyd March, Olympia, Washington, marching from City Hall Police Station to the Washington State Capitol, which you can see behind me. So it's been a peaceful march so far. No harassment by police. You can see up here, there's a cop keeping their distance, as they've been doing so far. Hopefully they stay away.
Don't shoot! Hands up! Don't shoot! Hands up! Don't shoot! No justice, no peace!
Please share this video. Because yeah, it's still ongoing. So if you share the video and people can tune in and see what's happening, who couldn't make it this time. If you couldn't make it, that's okay. There's more events coming up. Stay tuned. I'll post links. Keep an eye out. Look up Olympia rallies and protests on Facebook. And show up.
Prosecute the police! Justice! Now! Justice! Now! Justice! Now! Justice! Now! Justice! Now! I can't breathe! 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 Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black dreams matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! No peace! No justice! No peace! Prosecute the police! No justice! No peace! Prosecute the police! No justice, no peace! Prosecute the police!
There you go. Coming up to the Capitol.
I can't breathe! 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 I can't breathe!
free. Shout out to the crowd that showed up tonight.
Hands up! Don't shoot! 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 Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Say your name! George Floyd! George Floyd!
Let's go down here a little so we can get a good shot with the Capitol Peak. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'll have more video tomorrow on PoliticOly, so check it out on YouTube. Here we go. All right, I'm going to cut the live feed. I'll see you all tomorrow on PoliticOly, 1 p.m. Thanks for tuning in. Love, peace, prosecute police.
All right. All right. So that was the replay of the March segment yesterday, Olympia, Washington, May 30th, 2020. So just another shout out to the organizers. Good march. And that's the thing, as a citizen, you don't need to be some kind of expert organizer. You don't need to know how to, you don't need to have experience in this kind of stuff. This is just someone who posted on Facebook and got a response and set something up and made an adjustment and then, put the call out there for folks to come together, and several hundred people came out. That wasn't a professional, thing. That was just someone who wanted to do something, and instead of waiting for someone else to do it, they took it in their hands to set that up and put the call out, and people respond. And so just, I think that's important to point out, because if you're sitting there at home thinking, man, I'm so mad, but there's no demonstration going on and I want to do something. Well, do something. Put the call out for help and folks will join you. And if they don't, try again. It's okay. What do you have to lose? So, being an activist isn't about, being some kind of professional. It's just about doing something, even when you don't know what to do, and just figuring it out. Let's see. What was I going to do next? Yeah, sorry about the... Let's see. I was going to have a whole bunch of videos of the speeches, because that was just the March segment, and there was a bunch of great speeches at City Hall and at the Capitol. I got video of a number of them, but I'm having technical problems and I can't play the videos right now. So I'm going to come back next week with more content on that. I would love to show not just my own video, but other people's media as well. So if you would like to share your media with an audience, obviously I don't have a large audience yet, but what I'm trying to do is create a community. My mic is low. Thanks. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not sure how to turn it up any higher. Everything is at max and it's right in front of my face. So I really appreciate the feedback, but yeah, I don't know how to turn my mic up anymore. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. Anyway, so yeah, what I was saying though is I would love to share photos and videos from other people. I would love to have more hosts for PoliticOly. PoliticOly doesn't have to be just me. So if you would like to guest host or provide any kind of photos or media of any kind for the show, reach out to me, and I would love to do that. I want to make this like a community conversation show and not just, so far it's just been, mostly just me talking. So help me make it a community and contribute. So moving on, let's see, there are some upcoming events. So let's see. Someone was trying to organize something at the mall on Monday at noon, and I had a video of them plugging it, but again, my videos aren't working. And I just want to say about protesting at the mall, that's a great idea. The security are going to chase you out of there right away. So if you're trying to stand somewhere with a sign and be visible and, be there for any length of time, you're probably going to want to be on the sidewalks on the public property, not on the mall property. That's just my take. But I'm just letting you know someone else was organizing that, not me. So just throwing that out there. There are more events coming up locally that are more organized. On Tuesday, Heritage Park, downtown Olympia, a Change Has Gotta Come rally, 4 to 6 p.m. If you look up a Change Has Gotta Come rally in Olympia on Facebook, you can find that, and I will post a link in the description. Anything I talk about here that has a link, I'm going to post that because I'm live right now, and what I do is after this, I'll go and cut out, edit the video a little bit, and I'll repost the video on YouTube. And so when I do that, I'll have all the links in the description. So if you want a link to anything I'm talking about and you don't catch the URL or anything like that when I'm talking, come back to the PoliticOly YouTube later and it'll be on there. So let's see. I want to do a couple of links here, so just give me a moment. Find out the public right-of-way there and you can protest there. Yeah, I think it's the sidewalk around the property. If I'm not, I could be mistaken. I don't know. I'm not saying that as a fact. That's just what I think is if you try to protest like on the sidewalk right outside of the mall or in the parking lot, that's public property and they can kind of kick you out of there if they want to, or harass you or call the cops or whatever. So for safety purposes and legality purposes, public sidewalks are always kind of the go-to option if you don't have a venue planned. So anyway, moving on, I wanted to, let's see, whoop, I forgot to turn on, sorry, I've got half a black screen here because I forgot to turn back on the thing. So let's see. Couple of links I wanted to share with you guys. One is killedbypolice.net, where you can find some facts about that. Obviously, that's a good resource. I want to share one that was just shared on Twitter by at Prison Culture, which is mpd150.com, and that is the official MPD 150 report from Minneapolis on trying to make Minneapolis a police-free community. So check out mpd150.com, check out killedbypolice.net, check out Prison Culture on Twitter. Another Twitter account that is really good, you know what, let me just pull up Twitter here and let's just do some Twitter browsing together here live. Doing it live. All right, let's go. So I wanted to look up just to share with you guys as a resource. If you remember a few years ago, Bree Newsom climbed up a flagpole and took down a Confederate flag in North Carolina and got some attention for that. But Bree Newsom is really not just like a one-off protester like that, one-hit wonder. No, she is always going, and she is really smart. So go check out Bree Newsom on Twitter for a lot of perspective on police abolition and anti-racism work. Yeah, I just wanted to give Bree Newsom a shout out there. So that is... let's just talk about some of the things on here. So Lee Carter is a socialist from Virginia, is elected member of the Virginia House of Delegates, I believe it's called. He was hit by multiple flashbang grenades from police after identifying himself clearly. Let's see. John Bruning reports that police just attacked the vigil site where George Floyd was murdered, that was praised as the epitome of peaceful protest. Cops surrounded the intersection and opened fire with absolutely no provocation. Journalists fled and cut the feed, so no idea what's happening. So that is why we say rest in power and not rest in peace. There's no peace for George Floyd yet. We need to get justice first. There's all kind of examples of police attacking people without provocation. So, if you're out there thinking, oh man, this looting is terrible and they've destroyed businesses and, people are going to have a hard time finding food and, this is horrible for the community. Yeah, riots are not great for a community. And so cops need to stop starting them. And that's what you need to remember. Is that police attack without provocation. Police create the violence. police push peaceful protesters into other things through violence and intimidation and oppressing people and not allowing people to have their rights, and then people respond. And so if you don't like riots or looting, then what you need to do is tell the police to stop starting them. Here's a few pictures from last night. Since I was having trouble sharing the media directly, I'll go ahead and pull them up here. Down at the Capitol. This is down at the Olympia Police Department, City Hall. This is our little candlelight vigil for George Floyd. Shout out to the anarchists involved. I got a shot at the open mic, and I spoke up for a few black Americans murdered by police, and I misspoke there because I also spoke up for one Native American woman as well. So just a quick correction. Charlena Lyles, Renee Davis. Oh no, I did mention it. Yeah, Jackie Salyers. Those are 3 pregnant women that were killed by Washington State Police, and there's been no justice in any of those cases. So I wanted to say their names. I also gave a shout out to Andre Thompson and Bryson Chaplin and their family for surviving police violence and racism in Olympia. There's been no justice in that case, and the police essentially ran them out of town by constantly harassing them and gaslighting them and things like that. And so I wanted to speak their names. Some of the folks at the protest were new to this and maybe jumped in because of George Floyd, but didn't know that there were also cases here in Olympia where folks haven't got any justice. So I wanted to speak those names. I also shout out Justice for Yvonne McDonald, which you can find that group on Facebook. Yvonne McDonald wasn't killed by the police, but the police and the Thurston County coroner and others helped cover up her killing and botched the investigation, and just the, whether it was just implicit bias or whether it was explicit racism, it doesn't matter because the effect is a racist act in the city of Olympia surrounding that. So just wanted to speak those names, and I got a chance at the open mic. I didn't record that because it was just kind of a spontaneous open mic thing and not about me. So let's see. Oh yeah, go look up go look up The Coup. That's the band name. The Guillotine. That's the song name on YouTube. I don't want to play it because I don't want to get a copyright strike, but that is some entertaining tune to get you pumped up and ready to go march. Here's an interesting one. The word loot was actually taken from Hindi Sanskrit, meaning rob, as the British colonized, stole, and exploited resources from the Indian subcontinent during its colonial rule. What happened in Target tonight wasn't looting, it was redistribution. Yeah, I agree with that, and it's really important anytime the discussion gets framed around, protesters looting a store or something like that, or setting fire or whatever, breaking a window. It's really important to reframe the conversation, because the big looting is that the American billionaires are $500 billion richer just in the past 3 months, while there's 30 million people that went unemployed. And so the real looting is being done by the billionaires, not the people in the streets. And that's really important to remember. And anytime the conversation, and this could be with family, with friends, if people are only watching MSNBC or CNN or Fox or whatever, they're going to be thinking, oh yeah, those protesters are violent and they caused all this destruction and they stole things, because that's the propaganda. And so it's really important to reframe the conversation. Oh, you're concerned about looting? Well, what about $500 billion that was stolen from you and me and all of us by the billionaires over the past couple of months, right? And if the concern is about violence, then slavery. Yeah, come on. Colonialism, genocide. So, like, keep it real. Reframe the conversation. And, yeah, so the band name is The Coup, COUP. And that's Boots Riley's band from a few years ago. So check that out, called The Guillotine. I would play it. It's a great song to get pumped to go rally. Yeah, but I don't want to get a copyright strike. So anyway, but it's, we got the guillotine, you better run. We got the guillotine. We got the guillotine, you better run. And so on. So check that out. That's a good song. All right, moving on. Let's see. So Brian Lawrence, who was a photographer for the Bernie Sanders campaign, says there are only 800,000 police officers across the entire United States. We outnumber them 410 to 1. That's a good point. Internet Hippo posts, if I were being killed by a police officer, I would simply vote him out of office, which is, of course, sarcasm. I don't follow a lot of parody or sarcasm accounts because I feel like it's a waste of time for me personally on Twitter. But that's a good one there because then it just shows electoral politics. Look, we just talked about it. Lee Carter was attacked. There's another post. I don't have the link for it handy, but there's something like 14 elected officials protesting George Floyd who have been attacked by the police so far. So give me a break, man. Electoral politics is not going to get us there. So anyway, let's see. Quote, a Detroit police officer, Gerald Blanding, killed my brother Raynard Burton on 2/13/2017. He was only 19 years old and unarmed. The officer didn't get fired or charged, even though this wasn't his first offense. On top of that, his Instagram name is Fatal Force. Yeah, exactly. These cops are just pumped up, and they're just, there's no accountability, and they know it. It's horrible. Back to propaganda, though. I forgot I was going to talk about propaganda, and I kind of got off track. But anyway, so Ryan J. Riley is a reporter who reported live in Ferguson, Missouri, when the Ferguson uprising happened. And he was arrested for essentially nothing by the police as a media repression technique. And so, quote from Ryan J. Riley here. The officer who slammed my head on the door as he led me out of the restaurant in handcuffs and refused to tell me his name, he got promoted. There you go. So that was a completely unconstitutional attack on free speech. And, the officer doesn't get punished, they get promoted. So, anyway. All right. Well, I guess I should put down Twitter and move along with the discussion here. Man, I can get sucked into Twitter. So anyway, let's see. What do I want to do here? I'll just put back up my slideshow here for a second while I figure out what to put up on the screen. So anyway, again, I was going to have this as a more organized show with a whole bunch more videos and things to share with you all, but I haven't had time to put it all together, and I'm having technical problems on the videos, so I'll have to come back with that next week. And thanks for bearing with me. I'm just gonna keep going here. I know it's past my live streaming time, but let's just keep rolling. There was another propaganda piece that was really striking. And I don't have the video link handy, but this is one where someone put together a compilation of a whole bunch of local news channels, and all of them were saying the exact same statement that had been supplied to them by Amazon about how great Amazon is and how great they are to their employees and how awesome they are at responding to coronavirus and so on. And none of that was journalism, and Amazon just sent it over to them, and they read it out. And that was just a great example of propaganda. And, capitalist media is not journalism. So, if anybody says, CNN News, no. CNN is entertainment. It is extremely biased, and you should not rely on any corporate organization for news. Because they don't do journalism, and they're really showing it right now. Um, there are many ways in which the media propagandize. First, they only showed the part of the video where George Floyd was killed. And they didn't show the first half of the video, which showed that he was not resisting arrest in any way before that happened. So, they pick and choose what part of the video to show in order to suggest, excuses and so on. That's one way. Okay, well, then that whole came out. Well, apparently there's more video of the officers taking turns beating George Floyd in the back of the cruiser. And obviously the news organizations didn't show that either. So, they pick and choose. They just say what the police want them to say. They share the videos that the police are okay with them sharing. And so don't go to corporate media for your news. Go to them for entertainment. Go to them, if you're curious, you want to watch a video, this or that, fine. Just, no, always. It is not the whole situation, and it is propaganda that you're watching. You have to be careful. All right, let's see. Theodore H. Sanchez Jr. says, "You have a valid voice. Please get it together. We need you. I need you. Community needs you. You have the will to know how to get it together, my brother. Thank you." Thank you, brother. Absolutely. And I don't feel like I know what I'm doing. I don't feel like I know what to do. But that's the thing about politics and civic engagement is, you just speak up. Figure it out. Go out in community and show up to events and talk to people and just get involved. And that's really what anyone is asking. So hopefully you'll join. And again, I want this show to be a community. So if you want to participate, if you want to say something, I want to help you get your voice out there. So send me audio or video to PoliticOly@gmail.com or direct message me for an inquiry about doing a Zoom chat or, whatever else you want to do. So let's see. One more thing I wanted to talk about police propaganda is, so who caused the protests to become riots and looting, right? Okay, so on the one hand, the protesters just went out and started all that out of the blue. No, that's not true. As I already said, the police provoked them by being violent and repressing their First Amendment rights. So that's not really the case. The next level is, there were police provocateurs, undercovers and so on, like the guy smashing the windows at the AutoZone. Protesters confronted him, said he was a cop, and he walked off, and it turns out, it came out later, he was a cop. So there are agent provocateurs. Look up John Towery if you are interested in more about police undercover work in Olympia, Washington. The police infiltrated the port militarization resistance in 2008 or 9 and had undercover, and they were doing all kind of unconstitutional stuff, and that's all been proven. And so, agent provocateurs are absolutely a thing. However, they did not cause all of the damage or start everything. And there were also white supremacists and Proud Boys and things like that kind of tag along to the protest, like Boogaloo Boys or whatever, right? They just want to fight and they just want chaos, and so they show up to whatever. They don't care what your message is, and they just try to start shit. So we have to watch out for that. And agent provocateurs do start a lot of damage and violence and things at previously peaceful protests. But it's important also, and I've seen this pointed out, and so I just wanted to, to make this clear, is that you also don't assign all of the acts of rage to agent provocateurs and outsider agitators, because what that does is that takes away the agency of folks who were protesting and saying, well, they didn't do it, it was all outside agitators. Well, not all. No, it wasn't. A lot of people really are pissed about this George Floyd thing, about other cases, about Black Lives Matter, and they chose to protest in the way that they chose. Some of that did some damage. And that was part of their message. And so to just say, oh no, it's all outside agitators, it takes away their agency of those people. And then CNN can go, oh, well, you know, it was, and because like I said, this is all on the mainstream media. Look at the CNN footage from Seattle yesterday. They find people out there that want to say, well, we were just trying to protest peacefully, but then the white anarchists showed up and ruined everything, right? They find people that say that, and they elevate them, and they ignore everyone else. And I'm not saying those people who say a message like that don't have a legitimate concern. They may. But the media picks and chooses and cherry picks in order to propagandize, and keep that in mind. And so they don't paint the full picture. And so it wasn't all outside agitators, and it's important to remember that. Anyway, one moment. All right, let's see, what's next? Also in Seattle, oh my gosh, I need to share this one with you. Whew. Here we go. This was posted by @SteelBrooks on Twitter. Oh, it was a repost. So it was posted by Matt Mills Photo. This is in Seattle.
Get your fucking knee off his neck!
Look at that. The Seattle police put their knee on the neck of a protester. And watch what happens. I'll play the rest of the video. Watch what happens when the crowd yells, "Get your knee off his neck." Watch what the officer does. Watch this.
Get your fucking knee off his neck! Get your fucking knee off his neck! Get off him! Get your fucking knee off his neck! Get your fucking knee off his neck! He has his knee on his neck! Get your fucking knee off his neck! Get your fucking knee off his neck!
Whew. I don't even need to add commentary to that. If that doesn't make your blood boil, I don't know what you're doing. Whew. And then, you know what? We have all these elected officials, Seattle Mayor Jenny Durkin, Olympia Mayor Cheryl Selby, and so on and so forth. The police departments, they post all these messages on social media. Oh, we're so sorry for what happened to George Floyd. They don't say sorry. Oh, what happened to George Floyd is terrible. We respect all lives. Blah, blah, blah. No. No. The people are not buying it. We're not buying it. You saw what just happened in that video. So no. No. If you want peace, if you want justice, then what you're going to do, actually, here's a good example in my notifications. Someone named Susan Parrish, who is @OlyWoman, comments, "Give me a break. Abolishing the police is just stupid to say." Okay, well, thank you for the comment, Susan. I will respond to that. When I say abolish the police, white people think, no police? What do we do if there's a crime? What do we do if there's in danger? What if a kid's in danger? Who do we call? No, we need police so we can call them to protect us. Think for 2 seconds. Half the country can't do that. Can't call the police. Because the police come and make it worse. Because the police exist to oppress people. Because our whole system of policing in America was created to enforce racism and capitalism and militarism. Note, those are Martin Luther King Jr.'s 3 evils. The police in America were designed from the ground up to protect the 3 evils and make sure that the people are not able to take out those 3 evils and defeat them. So when I say abolish the police, and when others say abolish the police, we're not talking about total anarchy, no security, no laws, no protection, no one you can call. What we're talking about is abolishing the system of law enforcement in America that was built from the ground up to enforce the 3 evils. Abolish that. Shut it down. And we start over. And we build a system of law enforcement and security that everyone can access equally. That protects people, not property. That protects humanity, not militarism. And we can't just make a few minor changes and reforms and add a training program and increase the cops' budget so they can have more training and the problem solved. Hire more officers of color. No. New system. So that's what we mean when we say abolish the police. So thank you for that comment, Susan, and that chance to respond. Let's see. Whew! All right. If your blood's boiling like mine, just wait. Just wait. Oh, man. It got limited. Hang on. Let me find another link. Let's see. Anyway, there was a compilation video of a lot of clips of police attacking people unprovoked. And it was put all into one video, and it looks like that was limited. So hang on, let me find another source. Should have saved the video. That's okay. You know, I never mind when someone puts their account on private on Twitter. And I gotta say, if you are on Twitter and you post something and trolls start harassing you, white supremacists come into your mention, anything like that, set your account to private for a while so they can't see it. You know, seriously. Block white supremacists, you know, people that are not dangerous but waste your time, just mute them. That's just my Twitter advice. How to Twitter 101. Mute people that waste your time. Block people that are dangerous. All right. So this is a Twitter thread by Adam Christensen. That is AC4, the number 4, Congress 2020 on Twitter. They are running for Congress in Florida 3rd District. And they post this thread, and I'll link to it in the description later again. But they post this thread about unprovoked police violence. There are so many examples, and it's just, whew. Police just trampling someone with a horse, completely unprovoked. That was Houston. Here's Louisville, Kentucky. Local journalist being shot by, and it says non-lethal in the tweet. I'm going to correct him. Less lethal bullets while live on TV. That's terrifying. 3, cop flinging a 100-pound girl to the ground, causing a seizure and her being rushed to the ER. 4. Police officer doing a hit and run with their car door on a protester as they drive by. 5. Pepper spraying peaceful gatherers. 6. Pepper spraying sitting New York Assemblywoman trying to intervene between police and protesters. That's Assemblywoman Diana Richardson. In addition, a New York state senator was also pepper sprayed while trying to keep the peace. That was Zellnor for New York. 9. Multiple New York Police Department ganging up on and beating a man with baton. And so on, it goes on. But this is just like, look, you want to talk about violence, you want to talk about riots, you want to tell somebody to stop doing that, tell the police. All right. Anyway, I think you got the point. Yeah. Let's see. But man, whew, change has got to come, folks. And it's not a reform change. This is why we say abolish the police, because we need to scrap it and start over. You know, none of this crap. None of this crap. You know, remember, the phrase, it's just one rotten apple, or whatever that people say. Yeah. The phrase is, one rotten apple spoils the barrel. So that's how that one goes. Keep that in mind. Back to propaganda, there was a woman in a wheelchair in the Target in Minnesota, and the news showed clips of a white person spraying them with a fire extinguisher, and it looked like there was some violence against a disabled person. But that's just propaganda. You look beyond that, and that person came into the store as a vigilante illegally and started stabbing people. So you didn't see that part of the clip on the news. And so again, anytime you are watching clips of this stuff on the news, always keep in mind it's propaganda. Not it might be propaganda, not there might be some bias here. No. Everything the corporate media does is propaganda. All right, so let's see. You know what? I'm going to wrap up today's episode because it's pretty loose, and I don't have everything as organized as I wanted. Like I said, I have some more videos of people's speeches and stuff, and I'll have to come back with that next week when I figure out why that wasn't working. So I'll just leave this with a Change Has Got to Come rally. This is Tuesday, 4 to 6 p.m., Heritage Park Fountain in Olympia. Please show up. I'll try to be there. Let's see. Hosted by Olympia Showing Up for Racial Justice and Washington Community Action Network. Those are groups you should follow. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. So, I really appreciate you all tuning in. Oh, wait, what the heck? That's not the right screen. All right. Anyway, all right. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and just put up my slideshow here and wrap up the episode. Oh, no. Everything's Bernie. Oh, my gosh. I need to edit this, my folder, slideshow folders, and update stuff. Anyway, really appreciate you all tuning in. Again, this is PoliticOly, episode 11, May 31st. Whew. All right, folks. Keep tuning in. If you want to support the show, like and subscribe on YouTube. You can subscribe on Twitch as well. Turn on notifications on YouTube to help catch me live. I love all the comments. This is great. I really appreciate the more people comment and join in live. It just makes the show better. And I envision this show in a couple of years. And there's a bunch of people watching live, and it's a discussion. It's a community forum. So that's what I want, and that's what I'm going to keep working to create. Theodore Sanchez Jr., thank you for caring. I believe in you. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate the support. Again, one more way to support the show is patreon.com/PoliticOly. And thanks everybody, and yeah. Whew. Love and solidarity. Black Lives Matter. Hit the streets. Love you. Peace.